see, goal for today, 500 calls. We're doing 50.
And this is how you get fired, kids.
Alright, let's do it.
Ah yes, yo chicken bros, what's up? It's your boy Smile here coming at you with a brand new video. And I'm here today to talk to you guys about the one and only quiet quitting trend. I'm just kidding, there are many of these. It's basically called laziness by many people. And personally, I agree with some of the ideas here and disagree with some of them. But I've gotten two TikToks for you today. One of which has a well-constructed argument, and the other one kind of just discredits the entire argument for the movement in general. So I'll be showing you both of these clips throughout and kind of explaining the issue with the whole movement in general in today's video. But first, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, make it ring a ding ding. And let's not forget, it's Spooky Scary Chicken Bro season, people. Don't forget to grab yo Spooky Scary Chicken Bro merch and send me a picture of it, or post it on just about anything with the hashtag Spooky Scary Chicken Bros 2022. I will be making a slideshow at the end of the month. There will be like no faces in it, no identifying features for obvious reasons, so if you send that to me, I will be cutting it out. That stands for clothing, obviously, but when it comes down to it, it's more legal reasons than anything. With that being said, let's get into today's video now, shall we?
I just got off work and I saw a video of an older gentleman talking about quiet quitting and how like our generation is just lazy and we don't want to work for anything, and how we're never going to be able to go get the brand new house or the new car because we're not putting in the extra work. Most of the videos and most of the takes that I've seen are very polarizing. It's one, just the older generation saying that the youth is lazy and whatever, and the younger generation saying that like you don't see the hard work that we're putting in. I think there's validity in both, and I think what older generations are having a really hard time conceptualizing is that we're
You see, that's a fair argument. He has points there. I will be showing later on more of why that he is screwed over in a job, but I can explain it myself pretty easily. I've been in the fast food industry myself, and have dealt with that kind of bullcrap. Basically put, a lot of Gen Z people feel like they're in a dead-end job. And they don't like working for the hour for something that they do in 15-20 minutes. And I get that. You know what I mean? Personally, I get that. I feel that. I think there's something to be said about the current issue with the way we work these days. And when we got to, say, work from home, which, take it for what you will, a lot of people enjoyed that kind of flexibility that was given, that lenient flexibility. But what I really think should happen, personally, is have, like, a paid contract. So instead of calling it quiet quitting, you go and say, alright, I do this for you for this amount of money. You know what I mean? Kind of paid contracts. Now, that may sound, oh, Smile, but that's not really a job, and then we'd have to redo the whole economy. I get that. This is perfect world scenario here. That probably won't work. But then again, it feels more in tune with what this guy is saying. For instance, he could take an independent contractor doing cold calls. He would probably enjoy that more than what other people would. That's the kind of point I'm getting at here. Not every job is for everybody. And quiet quitting does have its roots in laziness in some ways. Yes, it's doing what's entailed by your contract just to get through the day. What you don't do is act like a butthole to discredit your entire argument. Like this lady.
It's Maple Muffin Monday, everyone. Let's go to the break room. Did you watch last week's episode of The Bachelorette? Yeah, good drama, right? Hey, Veronica, you have till end of day to finish all this extra work. Respectfully, Susan, it's 2022. We're acting our wage, so don't give me extra work. Okay? Thank you.
Do you know what that makes you do? That makes you sound like an insufferable brat that has no argument, should be ignored, and most likely fired for telling your boss no. If I told my boss no, I'd be thrown out of a job. You see my point? If YouTube lady came down and said, hey, you gotta do this, and I said no, I made a mistake. And boom, I'm booted off YouTube. See my point? There is an issue with how she's going about this. She doesn't really see an argument. She wants to do the least amount of work while still getting paid, which I see as valid. It is a way to go down if you want to have a mediocre kind of life. If you just want to do the 9 to 5, get everything done with and over, and just stay in your own lane, I kind of get that. But with the majority of people doing this for more than likely cultural reasons and peer pressure, a big time to shine is for people who have the dedication and time to work hard, to give that dedication. And for people like her, get out of a job that you don't like. You seem relatively young. You seem like you might be able to have a chance to leave and go to a new job. If you want to work from home, like I said, there's cold calling. There's other things that you can actually do. Heck, I know that people have an Amazon job where they go and review stuff and make sure everything's okay. There's a lot you can do. You're saying you want an online job, go look for one. I mean, I got one just hanging around Discord. It's that easy. But yet you want to be an insufferable brat to everyone in the workplace. Do you know what this ends up with? No one wants to talk to you. No one wants to be around you. And then when you have extra work put on you because somebody else needs it to be done, and it will be nice and respectful of you to actually do it to help out, because now that work is going to the next guy. And the next guy may have hundreds of other extra work that he has to do that you could have done if you would have done a tidbit extra. You see my point here? And this is the duality of this issue. There is an angle of sense to be had with this argument. There is an angle I can understand and sympathize with. And we can talk and have a discussion about that. I know I don't have the right answer right now. I need to think through it a bit more and have a discussion. There is a fair argument to what is going on with this quiet quitting. This man said it, I've said it. With today's economy, most people feel like they're not getting the wages they deserve for the work they do. I mean, people are getting shot over cold fries, for crying out loud. There are issues with today's society and by inflation and so much more that makes these burger flipping jobs and Starbucks jobs and things of that nature feel dead-end and worthless to a lot of people. And that's something I get and sympathize with to the nth degree. They have an argument. This lady does not. She just wants to do the minimum amount possible and be done with it. And like I said at the beginning, you have a right to do that, but don't expect to go far and expect to be fired. Now let me show some more of this guy's argument and give you more of a perspective on his side of the story.
I work a minimum wage tips job position, and if I were to ask any of my coworkers that are around my age when they're gonna buy their first home, they're going to laugh at me. They're gonna laugh because they don't know if they're gonna be able to pay rent next month. One of the main talking points that my generation uses is, well, it was a lot cheaper to buy a house back in the day, and you could work a minimum wage job and put in the extra hours and actually buy a home. I think that's the biggest point that's going over a lot of people's heads that are complaining about quiet quitting and that this generation doesn't want to work. The reality is many of us that are in my age or a little older, a little younger, are working jobs that do not care about us as people. And I'm going to say that again because I think that's a very, very important distinction that a lot of people are forgetting. I am not going to kill myself over a job that doesn't care about me as a human being. I am not going to put in a 60-hour work week and pull myself up by my bootstraps for a job that does not care about me as a person. Oh, you're being sensitive. Oh, you just want your feelings. No, I'm saying the bare minimum is that if I'm sick or if I have a family emergency, that job's not going to be like, oh, it's your responsibility to find someone to replace you. So many people my age are coming to the realization that we're just the idea and the notion that we're just able to buy a home in this climate just by putting in some extra hours is outrageous and honestly just so ignorant.
I get that sentiment. I get it. Believe me, I get it. We used to have something like that in the workforce back in the day. Something that you haven't mentioned, which I don't blame you. It seems as if you've never had this experience, is that there was a cultural place within the workplace. People would talk to each other and have a good time, and kind of enjoy bouncing off of one another while working together. I hear stories about that from my dad at the post office every day. He interacts with people and has a good time, and I feel that side too. There's a huge duality, and at the end of the day, I am a human being who doesn't have everything right. But I see the argument. I understand there is an issue here. And I don't know if it can logically be fixed. For you to be cared for as a person in that way, you would have to make connections within the workplace. However, I don't know if that's even possible in today's climate. And when it comes to the amount of money we make these days, with all the political issues going on today, which are very hot topic and hard to discuss on YouTube, I get that. I live in a dang trailer, for crying out loud, about to move in with some roommates after my big surgery. So I feel you, man. I feel you on that. But I also can't completely agree with this movement. I just can't. Because of the other side of this argument. That is, I will strive for mediocrity. I will strive to just do what I have to do and go home. I can't agree with that half. It makes no sense to me. And while the first half, I didn't really agree with you with oh, that's a cat. I didn't really agree with you when you stated that we need the bosses and people to care about us. I didn't. Now you may be like, Smile, how dare you? No. The point I'm making is, if you are in a positive workplace with people that give a crap about you and have a good time hanging around you, and you have a workplace that is built upon building each other up, you will already have that feeling. The boss won't have to do that for you. It is there. That's something we're missing, is that connected society. That connected amount of people. Something that I always say is in with gamers. Of all people, people who are called the most lonesome people in the world have deep connections with people like that. And I don't know. Obviously, I don't know all these answers. I'm a 19-year-old human being. But I want to know what you think. So leave your comments down below. Leave a like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, make it ring a ding ding. And with all that being said, Yo Man Smile is over and out. Peace.